Do I need to record my podcast episodes in person? If you've ever found yourself asking yourself that question, well, you're in the right place, because in this video, I'm going to answer that question and give you some reasons as to why I feel. Well, stick around. I'm Sebastian Ross. Can I help people start a podcast? Now, you've probably thought to yourself, well, if I create some sort of studio at my office or at my executive suite or whatever the case may be, well, it'll be more of an experience. It'll be like my own little radio station. I understand all that, and sometimes that is appropriate. But when we look at the amount of time it takes to actually schedule somebody, get somebody to come in, rescheduling, getting someone under one roof, well, it's an absolute time suck more times than not, and a logistical nightmare more than anything. Now, I get it. Maybe you just calendar something and somebody comes to your office and you record it, but usually there's more involved with that process. So let me give you my answer to whether or not you should be recording your podcast in person. All right, I'm just going to come out and say it. No, you do not need to record your podcast episode in person. Yes, of course you can if you absolutely want to, or maybe it's just something you do every now and then because it's more of a high-profile guest. They're local, and it makes sense. They were already going to be at your office anyway. They were already going to be in town. They were already going to be meeting with you. Whatever the case may be, great. But it's the year 2022, at least at the time I'm recording this video, and technology is very, very fast and easy these days. There's not a lot of learning curves by being able to figure out how to make a Zoom call. Well, even saying Skype may even be a thing of the past, but I would say a majority of people are utilizing Zoom for virtual meetings, etc. Heck, they're doing virtual events. Why not a virtual podcast? So when we think about going in person to record a podcast episode, I wouldn't lean into that strategy as much. It's a time suck. Remember, I mentioned that before, but it's also logistics. Getting people under one roof at the same time in one specific location is very comparable to walking cats. And I don't know about you, but I don't walk cats. Or if you've ever tried, it's a less than pleasurable experience. Now, I mentioned Zoom, and that's probably what 90% of podcasters utilize just because of the ease of use. You're able to get a video component, an audio component. It recognizes any other external audio microphone or receiver that you may have plugged into your computer, makes it very, very easy to record the podcast episode. I often say that recording a podcast episode on Zoom is just like scheduling a video call with someone. I tell people that because it relieves a little bit of the stress of actually being on a video call and actually recording a podcast episode. Not that difficult. So Zoom, for obvious reasons, we're utilizing it just about every day for any virtual meeting or connection we need to make, will work best for your podcast. Now, some would argue you'll lose some audio quality with Zoom, which I guess is true. If you've really got an audio ear and you're listening to the difference between, say, recording through one of your receivers, like my Rodecaster here, or Zoom, I guess there could be a slight difference. I think you're good to go. You've got a good quality microphone that Zoom is recognizing. Go ahead and record with that. Now, if you're looking up your game a little bit, you can spend 10 or 12 bucks a month and utilize Riverside.fm. Riverside.fm. Very comparable to Zoom, but it will clean up the audio and the video on both sides. So your guest may not have decent audio or video quality. It actually cleans it up. I don't know what kind of magic they work, but they're able to help you improve the sound and video while recording. So if you're down to spend the extra 10 or 12 bucks a month or whatever it is for their annual fee, I definitely recommend doing it. There are a few other platforms out there, but I don't like to sit and give you a laundry list. Too many options. A confused mind almost always says no, but Zoom, Riverside, two great resources for scheduling a remote interview. And then, of course, there's the opportunity to interview somebody on Facebook or Instagram Live, taking that audio or in video archive and repurposing it into a podcast episode. All doable ways in order to get that podcast episode knocked out and avoid the time suck of actually having to schedule and try and get someone in a physical location just to record a podcast episode that's 30 minutes long. It'll usually turn into 90 minutes or 2 hours if it's in person. If you're doing a 30-minute interview and it's remote, it's probably close to that same amount of time, maybe 40, 45 minutes if you're doing a 30-minute episode on there. So those are two tools and one additional hack you can utilize to record remotely. Well, I hope you're leaving this episode better understanding a little bit more about whether or not you need to record your podcast episodes in person. Zoom, Riverside.fm. I'm including links below in the description of this video. Go ahead and check them out. I even think there's a promo code for Riverside that'll allow you to check them out for free for a week. Of course, if you got any questions about this video or any other videos we got on the channel, please leave a comment below. I do respond to each and every one of you lovely people. It is my distinct pleasure. Until next time, friends.